You can proceed.
Furthermore, Your Worship, when we make payments, when authorized signatories make payment,
Yes, when you make payment.
As a control measure for Namcor, there are 2 signatories that releases payment. There are 2, as a control measure, there are 2 independent signatories that releases payment. If the amount is above $1 million, then A signatories must approve that payment.
How many?
2 A signatories, meaning executives, 2 executives duly authorized to release payments on behalf of the company need to do so.
Yeah, so, Your Worship, I think the witness is definitely referring to a document. Let's go to page 214 of the bundle, E2, 214, Your Worship. Are you there?
Payment requisition.
Yes.
Sorry.
Transfer notification. 214.
It's sorry, Your Worship. That one is just it's 184.
184.
Yes.
Apology, Your Worship. Yes, we are there. Can you read? Can you identify that document to the court?
Yes, this is a Namcor Petroleum Trading and Distribution Pty Limited check requisition form.
Yes.
In favor of Enecon Namibia Pty Limited.
The date?
19 July 2022.
Yes.
Yes. The payment, so the supporting documents that I was reading before lunch.
Yes, carry on.
Are then given to the finance department.
Yes.
So we have a preparer of the payment. It is checked by, so the preparer is the assistant accountant.
Yes.
It is checked by the financial accountant.
Yes.
It is again checked by the finance manager.
Yes.
I then check it in my capacity as executive finance.
Yes.
Then it is approved by the 2 signatories, myself and a second signatory.
So, yeah, there are 2 approvals.
Correct.
Yeah, by yourself and then by another person.
Yes.
Who is that person?
Mr. Nesta Shefeni.
Is he the same Shefeni who was the executive engineering?
Correct.
For trading and corporate and distribution?
Correct.
The same Shefeni who prepared
the asset evaluation.
Yes.
As an executive, duly authorized to make payments on behalf, so that these things of fraud cannot occur. There are 2 independent A signatories.
What do you mean independent?
Meaning, if finance is preparing the payment, Your Worship, I then approve it as a finance executive.
Yeah.
The board has approved additional signatories independent of the finance department to check and verify the validity of that transaction. In that, it is independent from finance.
And those independent signatories, they have approved the payment, the transaction.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Yamukwaya, is there, can you, I don't understand, because if you look at all these people who prepared this check requisition.
So the assistant accountant,
yes,
as part of segregation of duties, the assistant accountant prepares based on the supporting documents that I just read out before
yes,
lunch. Then that is given to the financial accountant again to verify.
Yes.
Then it's given to the finance manager to verify. It then comes to my table. I review the documents as I summarized, and I approve as the head of finance to proceed with the payment. I then release the payment, authorize the payment into the bank account of Enecon. After that, I pass the supporting documents to another executive.
And in this respect, that is Mr. Nestor Shefeni.
Correct. Any other authorized executive could have approved this transaction.
And you confirm this was in respect of the 35 million which was paid by Namcor.
Correct.
To Enacon in respect of the asset purchase agreement.
Yes.
Now, it's very strange. Is there any reason why you are the only accused person of all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 4, of all these 4 people, 4 individuals who signed this requisition form? You are the only accused person in the dock now. Is there any reason, maybe if you have any comment?
I cannot say no.
Okay. And then, as a follow-up to that question, you said the asset purchase agreement was approved by the managing director, duly authorized to sign that agreement. We've seen that.
Correct.
Mr. Mulunga testified to that effect, that he was authorized to sign that agreement.
Correct.
Am I correct to say that whatever you did in your representative capacity, you were obeying a lawful and a reasonable instruction?
Correct. All the documents that are highlighted at one stage or another gave that individual authority to proceed. The request from the core department was approved. The asset acquisition, the asset evaluation reports from engineering were approved.
Yeah, yes. Carry on.
The fuel supply agreement that birthed the asset purchase agreement was approved, and the asset purchase agreement was approved, duly authorized. There was no unauthorized, except for maybe the budget reallocation. But everything that we have done up until that point were duly authorized. So the asset purchase agreement also,
carry on.
I relied on that asset purchase agreement because the MD, and we know this as executives, he is duly authorized to enter into agreements, whether for holding company or for the subsidiaries. He is duly authorized to do so. And we know this. That is why we base our decisions on what he has authorized.
Try to slow down, madam.
And his authorizations, as far as he enters into agreements, have no limit with regards to amounts.
So you mean the contract?
No cap.
You mean the contract price?
Yes. So when it says he entered into agreement, asset purchase agreement worth 53 million, we as executives, I as the executive of finance, know that he is authorized to do so. Therefore,
Are you saying he has no limit?
His authority,
yes,
when he enters into agreements, there is no limit.
I think he referred to that in the schedule of authority,
yes,
when he testified.
Correct. Therefore, the 53 million.
Try to go slow.
Yeah. So I was comfortable because the agreement says 53 million, and he was duly authorized to enter into those agreements. So, Your Worship, all the documents are duly authorized. Even when I released the payment, I was duly authorized to do so as an ex-signatory.
Please, the court, you watching? Let's look at the count 23. At page count 23, your worship. That is at the next page 7. I'm not mistaken. Of the exhibit E2. Page 7, your worship. Now, the state again alleges that you unlawfully, wrongfully, as the executive finance and administration at Namcor. Again, the state does not tell us which Namcor. We know there is a holding company and the 2 subsidiary companies. The state is throwing us into the bush. We don't know which one is which, but let's carry on. They say you abused your office and position when you approved and authorized the supply of fuel beyond the approval credit limit to number 1, Enacon, number 2, a wrong petroleum, which resulted in the actual loss in the amount of 274 million. Are we together?
Yes. 74
million and 365,463,0. The FESA said you had access to the bank of Enacon. That is the bank account ending with the 520. You remember? And you have access to that account from 26 October 2021. And you failed to undertake a duty of care, which resulted in Enacon Namibia to have a cumulative debt in the amount of 70,747,651.30 between March 2022 and December 2022. You understand the charge?
Yes.
Now, just to unpack these charges, these allegations, they say you unlawfully and wrongfully abuse your position in the office when you approve the supply. You have testified and referred to the court the credit limit policy. You also testify that you work as the chairperson of the credit committee.
Correct.
Yes. And they say you caused the company to suffer a loss in the amount of 70 million. More than 70 million. What is your answer to that?
Your Worship, the statement that says I have access to the bank account of Enacon from the 26th of October 2021, that is technically not true.
Why do you say so?
The account was opened on the 21st. The Enacon
21st
of October 2021.
Yes.
The Enacon resolution gives Namcor the authority to have a Namcor representative on that account. But Namcor did not give authority at this time. It only gave authority when the fuel supply agreement was signed, and that was on the 16th of March 2022.
That is the fuel supply agreement between Namcor and Enacon.
Yes.
Yes.
So therefore this statement is not correct.
Yes.
The fuel supply agreement, I think there's a clause 3.1.1 that gave me the authority. Therefore, at this stage, I had no right to touch this account.
And check what was going in or coming out.
Yes, my authority came in on the 16th of March 2022. Then on page 8, Your Worship, it said, because I had access, I failed to undertake a duty of care which resulted in Enecon Pty Limited to have a cumulative debt of 70,747,651 Namibia dollar 30 cents between 2 March 22 and until December 2022.
Before you comment, I will give you the time. They are accusing you of not exercising or a duty of care towards your company. Is there any law in this country which calls for criminal prosecution if you fail in you protecting the interests of the company or duty of care?
Not that I'm aware of, but I also want to demonstrate the charge that I did not take due care.
That actually the allegation is not correct.
The allegation is false.
Yes, let's see hear from you.
Your Worship, I first want to take you to the cessation agreement between Namcor, Ecofuel, and Enecon.
Your Worship, that is at page. It's at page.
I have it on Mr. Namanje's panel.
Yes, it's in the Namanje file. At what page?
228.
That is the exhibit D2. D2 at page
228.
228. 228 is not D2.
228.
Exhibit D1, Your Worship.
Yes.
Your Worship, there are three things that I want to highlight on that cessation agreement.
Yes.
The first one is on the first page, the front page, under Namcor Petroleum Trading and Distribution Pty Limited. The document reads Agreement of Secession.
Session, not
Session.
secession.
Sorry, session.
Yes,
Session.
we are not seceding
Session,
from anyone.
Your Worship. I would like to read just under Namcor Petroleum Trading and Distribution Pty Limited.
Yes, go ahead.
A company incorporated under the laws of the Republic of Namibia with registration number 2000/421 with its registered office at Petroleum House, 1 Aviation Road, Windhoek, Republic of Namibia. Herein represented by Mr. Emmanuel Mulunga, Managing Director, as duly authorized by the Board of Directors under the resolution attached here to as Annexure A.
Whose resolution?
There is a board, it's not attached on Mr. Namanje's PEC, but there is a board resolution that approves this session.
The session agreement.
Yes, session. I want to highlight that point, and I want to link it to the 70 million.
Which they are accusing you of, the company lost that money because of
Yes,
you
yes.
failure to take
Yes.
duty of care.
Yes.
Yes.
On page 229,
Of the same agreement.
yes,
Your Worship.
this agreement shall become effective on second day of March 2022, the effective date, provided that this agreement shall only become effective on the date when all company resolutions have been provided by all the parties to this agreement. Furthermore, on the paragraph that says whereas, I just want to read the amount. Whereas the cedent, being Ecofuel Investment, owes Namcor Petroleum Trading and Distribution, herein referred to as creditor, a sum of 73,395,876 Namibian dollars and 99 cents. which debt was incurred from the purchase of petroleum products from the creditor by the cedent. So the first paragraph, I want to highlight that this agreement had the approval of the board. Secondly, I want to highlight the 73 million and link it to the 70 million in my charge.
In count 23.
There is a movement of 3 million.
Yes.
In addition to this agreement, Your Worship, there was a repayment agreement attached to this.
Yes.
It's not in this spec, but the board resolution of Namcor has the agreement of this agreement and also a payment arrangement between Enecon and Namcor for them to service this debt of 73 million.
Oh, after, Your Worship, that is after the session agreement was concluded between the three parties.
Yes, there is a loan repayment of 500,000 per month. That was also agreed.
And you
Now,
said it was approved by the board.
correct. Now, the charge says I did not act with due care, or let's read it factually.
You had access to the bank account of
It says,
Enacon.
I had access to the bank account and failed to undertake a duty of care. Your Worship, the statement of account 520, the joint account, there are payments which I read out on
On Friday last week, correct.
the first payment on that joint account, I think is dated 12th of July 2022. There was a payment of 1.5 million. From Enecon to Namcor Trading, it was allocated to this loan. Therefore, that is why you have a difference between 73 and the 70.
I see.
The other thing on this charge, it says the debt accumulated between 2nd of March 2022 to December 2022.
Yes.
That is false. The debt incurred or was taken over on the 2nd of March 2022 with the approval of the board and with a repayment plan. Therefore, the statement that was made that we gave product for free and it was linked to this 70 million is false and misleading.
Yeah, because if the investigation officer, Mr. Inambao, if he has spoken to you before your arrest or during the investigation, they wouldn't be making these false allegations. You would have given them a clear picture of what transpired, correct?
In fact, Your Worship, PwC, when I left Namcor, PwC was conducting, I think, this investigation, and I volunteered to go and explain what transpired here. The investigating officer should have done the same. We would have explained that we were acting duly authorized by those that are charged with governance of this institution.
Yeah, he will come here next week. We ask him. I'm sure he'll be able to explain to the court. Now, there is a bank statement by Erongo Petroleum. Your Worship, that is the account ending with 708. It was provided by the state. I'm not sure whether His Worship has got that bank statement.
What's the account number?
The date of 10 July 2024. Account number is CHK 801 9151 399.
Yes. Should be 399.
Yes, you have it. We got this account, this statement from the state. Your Worship, I think it's the file submitted by the state.
That was not admitted. Not yet. It's not. That one is not admitted.
Do you have it, Madam?
Yes, I do.
Now, Apology, Your Worship.
Your Worship, I'm not sure. From what I have here, I do not think it's before court. If the court can just verify, because I do not think so, because I don't even have it as an exhibit number. Yeah, I do not think so, but Mr. Bangamaro can verify, but it's not before court.
Your Worship, it's not before court because the state has not yet handed up their exhibit. But we received it from the state. It's a Erongo Petroleum CC bank account. The witness would want to demonstrate that actually the allegation that they've been giving fuel for free, it's not correct, because she would want to show the payment made by Erongo Petroleum to Namcor, Your Worship. If there is no objection to that. But also, the same statement is in the affidavit by the 9 accused person, the applicant. Do you have the statement? Can we hand a copy to His Lordship? If we can give one copy to His Worship, please.
That's yours. So you want the loose copy, and then you say that what
The witness has a copy, but His Lordship would want to look at the witness statement. He can make use of the affidavit by the 9 accused person.
is your client?
Please go to Your Worship.
Worship, unfortunately, I only have one copy. I think
I can hand up a copy to assist the
I think that would be prudent, because I would also want to follow through my own copy here.
Yeah, so Ms. Amkoya, I want you to be brief. Between you deal with the payment between the period covered by the investigation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Between I think it's March 2022 until April 2023, when you were still at Namcor.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Worship. Maybe if I can just give 3 months for the sake of time.
Yes.
Just to demonstrate.
Yes.
Your Worship, maybe before I go to the statements, I just want to refer back again to the credit policy. And on page 300 and those clauses that I read out earlier.
What page?
308, Your Worship.
Yes, 308, Your Worship. And I want to emphasize on the authority that we have been given under this policy, and highlight the second paragraph.
Can you read the paragraph into the record?
Yes, I read it, but already the credit limits are important and can be difficult to establish in a manner which is consistent with the potential risk inherent in an account. Financial information can provide important insights into the potential risk and the customer's ability to pay. Then the last paragraph, the last sentence, in all circumstances, it is important to understand the liquidity, the solvency, and efficiency of the customer when making the decision to give credit limits.
Correct.
So, with Erongo Petroleum, yes, there was a credit limit set. We as a committee and we as the approvers to give temporary credit limits. Let me say I used or I relied on this section. The customer's ability to pay and the customer's liquidity, meaning they have cash, solvency, meaning they are able to settle their debt. We are allowed to give and exceed credit limit, not just to these customers. This is applicable to all customers of Namcor that are buying on credit.
Correct. So,
Before you proceed, if I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's on the record that the credit limit, was it not 15 million or 25 million?
For Enecon, I think it was 15 million.
Now, in terms of the policy,
The policy does not dictate, your worship. The committee dictates based on the customer's needs. The policy is silent on how much to give. Although, if the limit is above 500, the MD must approve. And we do give to the MD to approve. Okay.
please go to your worship.
you can proceed.
Now, you want to demonstrate that actually Erongo Petroleum has the capabilities and abilities to pay, and that's the reason why you went, when I say you, the credit committee chaired by yourself, above the credit limit.
Yes, correct. So, based on the bank statements, the court will see that Erongo Petroleum was paying for the purchase of fuel during the period under investigation.
Yes. Can you take us to the bank statement?
Yes. I would like to start in July 2022.
Yes. You read out the transaction code and the amount paid and to whom the amount is paid.
Okay. Your Worship, can I start?
Yes, you can start, please.
On the 5th of July 2022, transaction code 1155, Erongo paid 2.3 million to Namcor.
Okay. Next transaction.
On the 30th of July, on the 29th of July 2022, transaction code 155, Erongo paid 5 million to Namcor.
Okay.
In total, for the month of July, Erongo paid 7.3 to Namcor.
That's July.
Yes.
Okay.
I can go through all the payments, but I have tallied them up. If the court can allow me just to summarize.
Yes, please. For the sake of time.
In August 2022, Erongo paid 9.5 million to Namcor. In September 2022, Erongo paid 16,986,678 to Namcor. In October 2022, Erongo paid 17 million to Namcor. Your Worship, I just took the bank statements that were presented by the state and I went through all the payments and I aggregated them. In November 2022, Erongo paid 8 million to Namcor. In December 2022, Erongo paid 8,801,677 Namibian dollars 83 cents. In January 2023, Erongo paid 23 million to Namcor.
23.
Yes. In February 2023, Erongo paid 21 million. I might have missed some transactions because I was working handwriting,
Yes.
but they are the payments. In March 2023, I calculated about 50 million that was paid to Namcor.
50. 50.
Yes.
Thank you.
And in April 2023, Erongo paid 8 million. I stopped at April 2023 because that's the month I vacated my office.
You said April 2023, how much?
8 million.
8 million.
Your Worship, Erongo was paying up until I left, and at the time of the managing director's suspension, Erongo was paying this account, their account. Therefore, we couldn't have caused financial losses. It is what happened next, what the interim management did next to this account. That's what we need to look at. Because
maybe they want you to be liable for what happened when you were no longer there.
as far as we know, yes, the account was out of credit limit. Yes, Erongo was buying, but the account was being paid on a monthly basis. There were no defaults. As far as I'm concerned.
Figures don't lie. It's very clear. Now, what do you make of the allegation by the state that actually you accused number 3 and the 50 applicants, you conspired and connived with the accused number 1, you XMD with the accused number 2, accused number 4, together with the representatives of Namcor, Erongo, in order to defraud Namcor. And actually, you were giving fuel for free. That's what we are reading in newspapers and social media. What do you say to that?
That is false, Your Worship. We have evidence, some of it already submitted to this court, that those statements are false.
The state says because the case is against you as the accused number 3, they are very serious. That actually they objected to bail. You must remain behind bars because there is a very strong case against you. What is you say? What do you comment about that?
I disagree. These charges, as I've read them, Your Worship, they are baseless. They consist of inaccuracies. They consist of timelines when we were not at Namcor. They are inconsistent, and they are relying on one narrative without allowing us to give factual information that we just presented here.
You see, Madam, the bank statement for Namcor, for Erongo, the money you just narrated to the court, paid by Erongo to Namcor, this bank statement came from the state, from the investigator himself. I'm not sure whether he knows how to read bank statement, because it doesn't make sense to anyone to say that you were giving, you and your colleagues, you were giving fuel for free to Namcor Erongo Petroleum. What is your comment?
Had the investigating officer requested us to come and explain this, I think you will have a full view of what transpired, and not a view accusing former employees of Namcor for whatever narrative they want to portray. We were available to provide factual information, had been requested to do so, even after we have left Namcor. And that can be proved by the PwC report. And after we have given our factual information, we saw the outcome of the PwC report as well as the legal opinion. Had we been given that opportunity, I don't think we'll be here.
Now, if you look at count 24 and the alternative to count 24, the state alleges that you, as accused number 3, fifth applicant, actually, after you paid the 53 million to Namcor, which you authorized, you show to the court the supportive documents which you used, you relied on before pressing the button, and also by other people who prepared the requisition form. But they say, because you paid the 53 million, they just say you. They don't mention Nestor Shefeni. They don't mention any other person. They say they single you out. And they say, because you did the payment, you were given 500,000, $500,000 by Namcor, which money was paid in your husband's Panduleni Farming CC bank account. You saw it?
Yes.
Now, did you receive any money from Namcor?
I did not receive any money from Namcor.
I know this morning you told the court that about Panduleni Farming, you confirmed that you have nothing to do with that farming unit. You are only a signatory.
Yes.
Did this Panduleni Farming CC, which is a juristic entity, as far as you know, is there any limitation on this company to trade or transact with anyone, including anyone who may have a connection with the Namcor? No, with the Namcor.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Did the Panduleni Farming CC transfer any money in your personal account?
No, it did not.
The last charge talks very vague. They say between October 2021 until May 2023. Are you there?
Yes.
You worship, that's count 25?
Yes.
Yeah. Just, they say May 2023. You know you are no longer, you told the court May 2023, you were no longer with Namcor.
I was not with Namcor.
Yeah, but they insist that in that period, you wrongfully and unlawfully conspired with your fellow members. The staff members at Namcor. They don't tell us which Namcor. They mentioned accused number 1, Emmanuel Mulunga, accused number 4, Olivia Dunaski, Colonelius, accused number 2, and representatives of EcoFuel, representatives of Erongo Petroleum, representative of Namcor, and you committed fraud, theft by false pretense, and money laundering. Did you conspire with anyone to commit theft?
I did not. I acted with the authorization of the 53 million. There were documents that gave me authority to do so.
They say, is the state saying you stole 53 million? Was the 53 million paid in your personal account?
No. So I did not conspire with anybody. On the credit, we acted within the policy's mandate as authorized to do so. I did not conspire with anybody.
And apparently you committed the money laundering, washing money.
I did not, Your Worship.
Yeah. Now, Mrs. Amukwaya, they say it's against public policy to grant you bail because of the seriousness of the charges against you. What is your answer to that?
Your Worship, the public is smart enough to understand what is transpiring here. They are smart enough to know what is fact and can separate what is fact from fiction. Our story did not change, and it did not change because we were mandated to do what we did. And that's exactly what we did. I, as an executive of finance, released payment based on duly authorized transactions.
Breathe.
Take a breather. Don't be carried away.
I, as an executive, or was the executive, I acted within the mandate of the credit policy, also duly authorized. Where we have made mistakes, Your Worship, where we have made mistakes, our contract of employment stipulates what must be done. Disciplinary was one of them, not criminal. Thank you, Your Worship.
Just one aspect, Mr. Mkwaya. Were you aware, or at what stage did you become aware of the investigation, the ACC investigation against you and your ex-colleagues?
Yes, Mr. Mulunga called me, I think it was in 2024. He informed me, I left, but he informed me that there is a case, a police case that was opened, and he just wanted to let me know with regards to Namcor's matters, because when I left, of course, I took the company to court for unfair dismissal. So I think he was just obligated to call me and tell me. So I became aware of this in 2024 already.
2024.
I think so, yes.
So, in as far back as 2024, you knew that you could be called by the ACC investigators or be arrested by the police in connection with this saga?
Yes, it was a possibility, yes. I knew that we could be called.
Now, the state says we can't give you bail, because if we give you bail, you are likely to run away, to flee. But you became aware of this story as far back as 2024. Did you try to run away and you are stopped at the airport or at the border?
No, Your Worship, and I'm not going to run away. These were transactions done in the ordinary course of business. We were mandated to do so. So I'm not going anywhere.
You told the court you are married to accused number 8 and you have 3 minor children, correct?
Yes.
And these children, they are all, how old is the last born again?
She's 5 years old.
And the second born?
10 years old and 11-year-old boy.
Yes. And as we stand here, where are the children?
They are at home, in our home here in Vintu, taken care of by their nanny. So the young lady, it's a young lady that we employ to take care of our children. So while we are at work, so she's now the primary caretaker right now.
Is it in public interest to keep a mother who is innocent, who is not guilty of any crime, to keep her away in custody, far away from the children who have a right to be protected and cared for by the mother?
No, Your Worship.
I don't want to be emotional because the court only deals with the facts.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's
when last
not-
did you talk to the nanny? Are you able to communicate with the nanny about the welfare of the children?
To be honest, I did not talk to the nanny. I communicate via my mother. She came to visit and I had to write a letter. That's how I communicated to the nanny.
The state further says you must stay in custody because if you are released on bail, you may interfere with the ongoing investigation. Do you know who are the witnesses in this case? Have you spoken with any of those witnesses?
Since I left Namcor,
State witnesses, I mean.
yeah, since I left Namcor, Your Worship, I have not engaged with any possible employees of Namcor. I have moved on. It's been 2 years. I have moved on. I'm newly employed at the organization where I was arrested. The documents that I've read here are evidence to what is being discussed here. So I don't have any intention of interfering with anyone. These are the documents that speaks truth, and they are before the court, Your Worship. So I don't have the intention of discussing this with anybody because the truth is already presented here.
On the documents?
Yes, and the documents are on record.
Now, if, assuming the court is satisfied that you are a good candidate for bail, how much bail amount can you afford? Are you able to pay?
I'm able to pay 10,000 Namibian dollars, Your Worship.
Are you willing to surrender your passport to the court if the court imposes that condition?
Yes, Your Worship, my passport has already been submitted to my legal representative, FP Law Changes.
And if the court imposes conditions such as reporting to the police, to the ACC or any police station, will you have any problem with that?
I have no objections to that, no problem.
And further that you must not communicate with any of the state witnesses. Will you have a problem with that?
I have no problems with that.
Your Worship, let me take 2 seconds to take instruction from the witness.
Proceed.
Please, Your Worship. Please, Your Worship, that is the evidence in chief by the 5th applicant. Please, Your Worship.
As it please the court, Your Worship, the witness evidence was eloquent. We will rely on it in submissions to cross these issues. The court pleases.
Please, the court, Your Worship. May I just, while I'm on my feet, hand up our application? It has been served on all the parties. We were unable to do so earlier due to the fact that proceedings were underway. Mrs. Namcor, you were the finance person at Namcor at the relevant time in question, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, something struck you earlier on about the internal memo that you were testifying about. You remember 65 of the bundle?
Yes.
Okay. You particularly highlighted that as the finance person, what gave you comfort was the budgetary provision that was made for the transaction. You recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the testimony of the 4th applicant before this court, Mr. Lunga, he spoke about 2 concepts of the budget.
Yes.
One was the business development budget, and then the other was the asset purchase budget. You
Yes.
remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are you able to explain to this court, I mean, of course, being the finance person, what the 2 budgets meant and their respective purposes?
Thank you. In the approved budget under the capital expenditure, there is a budget allocated for asset acquisition, meaning once that budget is approved, executives and the team can, in the ordinary course of business, can invest in pump, tank, and canopy, so that Namcor has exclusive rights to supply. It's a business model. So in the budget, there was a 25 million allocated to asset acquisition. In the very same budget, there is, I cannot remember the amount, there is business development. That again, in the event that the department identifies business for Namcor, they don't need to go to the board to seek approval. They can use that budget for business development. Since it's under capital budget, business development can be used for the acquisition of pumps, tanks, and canopy in the ordinary course of business.
Of course, I will be corrected if I'm wrong, but I recall that the fourth applicant testified that 25 million in respect of the asset acquisition budget, and there was a 40 million in respect of the business development budget. Was that the case?
Yes, it was the case. I just can't verify the amount, but that's the case. There was an amount. In my case now, I can't remember it, but I know there was an amount.
Okay.
And if it's 40 million, I believe it was then 40 million.
The transaction for which you are before this court now, does it fall within the ambit of those two budgetary provisions?
Yes, it does.
Now, yeah, sorry.
Yes, it does, and that is why I had the assurance that these assets were budgeted for.
Okay. Now, from the testimony of accused number 4, applicant number 4, I got the impression that the two budgets were actually joined to make this transaction happen.
Correct.
Was there anything that precluded the management of Namcor to do so at any given time?
No, there wasn't.
Now, just for purposes of completion, is this the only transaction that the management had conducted? I mean, and when I'm saying management, I'm referring to Namcor trading of this nature.
Absolutely not.
Are there transactions that were perhaps more in value than this particular transaction?
No, this was, I believe, the highest for that period.
For that period?
Yes.
Now, are you aware of the asset valuation that was conducted by a certain Mr. Nestor Shifeni?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Did you have any suspicion about the assessment that he conducted, and was there any reason to be suspicious about it?
I had no suspicion because that's his duty. That's his responsibilities as an executive of engineering for the Namcor Trading Company. It's in his line of duty.
Then there is the project feasibility that was conducted by a certain Mr. Hashila. Hashela. Okay. Did you have any reason to, suspect that project feasibility study for any anything suspicious or wrong for that matter?
Not at all. The business model, the feasibility model that was used has also been used on other Namcor projects. The significant ones are the service stations, the Namcor branded service stations that are operating in this country. We use the very same model.
Now, the state makes much ado about you being on the account. We've now categorized it as 520 being the joint account of Enacom and Namcor trading. Just want to clarify a couple of issues there. Now, what was the excess level you had on that particular account?
My access level was to authorize any payment coming into that account pertaining to the purchase of fuel by Enacom from Namcor. Authorize that payment to Namcor.
Could you transact on this account as you wished?
No, I could not. My instructions were very clear, and they are documented in the fuel supply agreement, clause 3.1.1. To protect the interest of Namcor, make sure there's an authorized signatory that in the event money comes in, it must be paid to the Namcor trading bank account, and that's what I did.
Now, I want to move on to another aspect. You testified that, amongst others, accused number 4 was part of the credit committee,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Now, did you, and when I say you, I mean you as the credit committee and were those with whom you occupied that committee, did you, for any fraudulent or corrupt or rather criminal purpose, convene a meeting to facilitate the increment of any credit limit for be it Enacom or all the other related entities that the state is complaining about?
No. In the event that we do not meet as a committee, there are round robins where the credit committee members are copied in to the request of additional credit from maybe the accounts manager. So even if we don't meet and we need to make a decision to increase or to give credit to a customer, that is then done on email where the members are also copied in. So if they had any objection, they could object on email. But every time there is a request to give additional credit, there is a history in terms of the credit limit, clause 8. We always look at the customer's ability to pay. So that information is presented to the members of the credit committee. Then 3 approve based on that.
Now, I want to ask, are you aware of a department called the governance department within, is it, I believe, Namcor?
Yes, the legal department, yes, I'm aware.
Okay. What was the role that that department played in the facilitation of this transaction? But before we go there, who are the members or who are those individuals in that department?
Each department in Namcor is led by an executive. So the legal department, corporate governance, has also an executive.
Yes.
they then have legal managers. So that is basically the composition of the legal department. So it's the executive, legal, and legal managers.
Now, within the department, who of those individuals had a role in this transaction?
So,
And what role, if any, did they play in the facilitation of this transaction?
with regards to the fuel supply agreement, the fuel supply agreements are drafted by the legal managers. With regards to the asset purchase agreement, that was also drafted by the legal managers in the department.
Yes, I want names.
Okay.
Yes, I want names.
The executive is Miss Damolin Muroko, and the legal manager is Miss Hilda Dos Santos.
Okay. Now, my instructions are that those individuals, the two names you mentioned, were as a matter of fact tasked with the due diligence exercise around this particular transaction. What do you say to that?
Yes, they are.
Yes?
They are part of the process to independently draft the agreements, all agreements of Namcor Trading. So they are part of they are the preparers of these agreements.
But what I'm asking you in particular is that, my instructions are that these individuals, amongst others, and when I say others, I mean the preparation of the agreements, were tasked with the legal due diligence to check whether this transaction was legally sound.
That is correct, yes. That is their duty.
And my further instructions are that these two individuals actually conducted a legal due diligence exercise on this transaction, and they gave a green light for this transaction.
That is correct.
And you are aware of this?
Yes.
Would you then agree that this transaction did not just fall out of the sky? It's actually a well-structured transaction.
Yes, I agree. That is why when as part of my supporting documents to pay, these agreements were part of those documents.
As the court please assure you, that's my cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Ms. Namcor. May I please invite you to take us to the credit policy again? I just want us to make sure of one aspect that I think is very important. What page is it again?
Page 300, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Branshaw. Mrs. Namcor, according to this policy, and specifically, as it pleases you, Your Worship, page 307, 306 first. Thank you. That, according to this policy, and specifically at clause 5.9, The people that are tasked with determining, meaning deciding a credit limit, are the Namcor Executive Finance Executive Downstream, Supply and Logistic, as well as the MD. Those are the people that are tasked in terms of this policy to determine a credit limit for a reseller. Am I correct?
Correct.
But before that determination is made, an application must be made by the reseller, isn't it? Wherein the reseller indicates what limit they are applying for. Am I correct?
Correct.
And in the event that that limit that is being applied for is in excess of 500,000 Namibia dollars, same must be approved by the managing director. That's what this policy says.
Correct.
Now, since we've established now that the people who were tasked and authorized to determine what credit limit to give to a specific refuelers are the ones as depicted in 5.9, can you please, for our purposes, confirm that the considerations that they take are the ones you've highlighted to us in clause 8 at the last paragraph?
Correct.
Okay. Those are the things that you would take into account in determining how much credit limit to give to this specific customer.
Correct.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Mrs. Samokoya, there's one thing we need to clarify. You are a finance specialist, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. When one is made a signatory of a bank account, it does not automatically mean you have access to a bank account. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So we need to make that clear in these proceedings. You are loaded as a signatory, but you need some information to access a bank account online, isn't it?
Yes. You need to be given access to the bank account.
And once you are given access by way of a password or login details, your access level is also determined as being either an approver or a loader or a requester. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. That is something that I think has become lost in these proceedings. So in respect of that 520 account, what was your access type?
Authorizing. A payment is loaded by somebody else. I release the payment.
Okay. You also mentioned that in respect of Panduleni and limited to some transactions, you had a signatory as well as access to make payments.
Correct.
What was your access type there?
That is also to make payment.
And to load?
To repeat, answer was
To make payment.
Okay. Did you also have authority to load those payments?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you just explain briefly the two distinctions?
In terms of loading,
Yes.
say you have an invoice, you want to pay that invoice, you load the amount onto the application.
Yes.
Somebody else then comes, a authorized signatory, then comes and release that payment to whoever it's allocated to.
Okay. So online banking access details, those are provided by a banking institution, am I correct?
Yes,
And those would be typically provided to the people that we have heard so much about in these proceedings being authorized signatories.
correct.
So you can be an authorized signatory, however, if you don't have banking details, you wouldn't access a bank account online, am I correct?
Correct.
proceed.
As it pleases you, Your Worship. Mrs. Hamukwaya, you are, amongst other things, charged with receiving a certain amount that was allegedly paid by my client, accused number 9. Do you know accused number 9?
I have never met accused number 9.
Right. Until these proceedings?
Yes, until he was accused.
And then you are also charged with conniving with Erongo Petroleum to the prejudice of Namcor. Now, I also, as you heard, I also had to conduct that exercise of looking at those transactions. And one of the allegations that my client makes in his affidavit is that the bank account statements we were provided with, they ran from October 2022 until May of 2023,
Yes.
the 30th, in respect of Erongo Petroleum's bank account.
Yes.
The allegation my client makes is that for that period, we could pick up at least 93.6 million paid by Erongo Petroleum to Namcor. What is your comment? Sorry, I'm going to repeat that again for the court's benefit. Between the period October 2022 until May of 2023, based just on the bank account statements for Erongo Petroleum that we were provided with by the state in these proceedings, my client alleges in these proceedings that we could pick up 93.6 million paid by Erongo Petroleum to Namcor. What is your comment on that?
I will say that is correct.
Okay. And those payments are by way of electronic fund transfer.
Yes.
Okay. You agree that there's a difference between an electronic fund transfer and a cash deposit into a bank account, correct? Okay. Just one more thing. Okay, Your Worship, I believe that would be cross-examination of this witness. As it pleases the court.
You are just only watching.
That's correct, Your Worship.
We set it down for Monday.
Your Worship, I've been informed, I think on the previous sitting we had agreed that we also proceed on Monday the 4th of August.
Indeed, correct.
At 9. I do not have any other commitments and I believe I'll be able to start at 9 unless council has other commitments elsewhere.
I think everyone confirmed their availability. We are committed to ensuring that this bail application, at least by next week, Your Worship, is off the table. Please, the court, Your Worship.
As the court pleases, Your Worship, from our position, we are
Good.
available and ready to proceed on Monday, in fact, for the whole of next week, if the court is so available. Your Worship, in these proceedings, with respect, I must say there has been one thing which has come across, and it's African time. We postponed the matter to commence at 9, but for some reason we end up commencing 2 hours later. Can all the councils involved please respect court time, and if the matter is adjourned to commence at 9, we abide so that we ensure that the judicial time is made use of in a good fashion. Your Worship, that would be my humble request. The court pleases, Your Worship.
Worship, these are rather serious statements about African time. I'm an African, Your Worship. I don't subscribe to that notion. You must stop making all that is African look bad. It's unacceptable. But be that as it may, Your Worship, we are available. The court has indeed confirmed that Monday is also a setting, so hopefully we will get this application finalized. Court pleases.
Mr. Issa, you indicated this is the last sitting.
I thought that the matter would come to conclusion today. It seemed to me that my colleagues still want me next week. But even if I'm not here, and I will not respect the African time, and if I'm not here, my colleague will definitely be here. So we'll also be ready on Monday, 9 o'clock, maybe especially for the state at this point.
The man who has been under oath.
Yes, Your Worship.
Get the matter then postponed to Monday, 4 August 2025. You are in custody.
As it pleases the court.
Keep the time.
As it pleases the court.
As the court pleases.
Because